everybody, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the greenhouse in the sky, where I want to talk about winter sowing and some new twists and tweaks that I've learned and played with and adapted over the last several years that I have been doing this method. I've been winter sowing for many years at 2 different Zone 3 homesteads. So I've learned quite a bit about how to make this work with some harsher conditions. I love to experiment. I love the questions that you guys send me. I love the comments because it does help me decide what my next little experiment or fun little trial I'm going to run. Last year, you guys sent me tons of questions and I ran a whole bunch of experiments, and that's what the focus of this is going to be mostly today. The number one experiment that had amazing success, and I am going to be doing it a whole heck of a lot more, are my snugs. Okay, so snugs, if you can see here, this is a seed snail in a milk jug, hence snail, jug, snug. And I am so happy with this. Now, winter sowing first came to us many, many years ago from a wonderful woman down in the US named Trudy Davidoff. And she came up with this wonderful little method of doing winter sowing in milk jugs. The reason this is such an effective method of seed saving is because between the cold stratification and trapped humidity of these things, when you place them out in the snow, that aids in germination amazingly. And then later on in the spring, when your seedlings have started to come up, these little mini greenhouses keep your seedlings protected from the harsh conditions. And they also make your work less because you don't have to water them so often. This trapped humidity actually means you have to water very little and there's no potting up. There is one drawback that I've had a lot of comments about, and that is transplanting time. 2 things. Duct tape is a pain in the butt to remove from here. It's harsh and hard to remove. And number 2, pulling out these seed blocks and separating up all of the little seedlings is difficult. And over the years, I've tried to play with a bunch of different things. Then I saw seed snails. Now, seed snails were popularized by Farida Silver, and I love it. Like, seed snails is such a wonderful, wonderful adaptation to seed starters that I saw that could apply to this were twofold. A, you could get more seeds into your milk jugs because by creating this snail and planting your seeds in here, you're getting separation. When it comes time to transplant, you roll these out and all of your little transplants can be easily separated. Plus, these seed snails are great for root growth. So I did a bunch of experiments with that last year, and I will probably be doing 3/4 of my milk jugs from now on as snugs, snails, and milk jugs together. Actually, the first crops that I practiced this with were root crops. Okay, which I know many people are like, oh, you can't transplant root crops. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's see about that. I have been transplanting root crops for many, many years with some degree of success. They end up a little gnarly, but I don't care because I live in a very dry climate and I really enjoy the fact that I get such great germination with this trapped humidity, and I'm not having to babysit my seeds in an arid area to make sure they stay moist long enough to germinate. That's not a problem in here. They germinate like crazy. I did hundreds and hundreds of milk jugs last year, and when it came time to open up these milk jugs, I got a little overwhelmed because I was actually guarding at 3 different areas and trying to get it all out. And one of my carrot experiments, I left way too long. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to do anything with this. Rolled it out, perfectly formed, beautiful little carrots in here. So this has made me a true believer, okay, in the snug. It is really quite easy to do, and it's fun. All right, I'm going to give you a quick demo here. You want to use a strip that you cut from something tightly woven and slick. I use my old feed bags or my old dog food bags, but there's lots of other things that you can do. And if you have questions about that, don't hesitate to put in the comments about other things that'll work. And you take your strip, you lay it down, you have some nicely moistened soil, and you just start packing it on. You want the soil to be quite moist, actually, and rolling. It's easy, it's fun, it doesn't take long to do. Yes, it does add a little bit more time to your winter sowing projects, for sure, getting this done. But when it, trust me, later on, when you're looking at your jugs and having to do all that transplanting, that you are going to be so grateful that you did this. This made it possible for me to actually, the ones that I experimented on were so much easier to transplant than the ones that I had done traditionally. We got a nice little seed snail started here. I'm going to pop it in here. And then the other thing is this holds it nicely in place. I'm just going to add a little bit more dirt around it to get it nice and snug in there. I know I'm going to be using that word a lot. Sorry. I'm just so pleased with them that I can't stop talking about them. And don't stop asking me questions about them, okay? Because the more I can experiment and learn, like I said, this is fairly new. I only started doing it last year. There you go. Now, the milk jug is prepared in the traditional way, as always. I punched 24 holes in the bottom of here with my handy dandy little corkscrew. I've cut, leaving a hinge just underneath the handle. And there you go. That's your milk jug prepared. I now have the seed snail put in there. I'm going to throw some carrots in. Another thing that I really love about the Snugs is one of the most common errors that a lot of newbies to winter sowing do is overseeding. And it gets too crowded and then the roots get tangled. And so many people end up not being successful because they're sure they've got great seedlings growing in there, but when it comes time to separate them, they lose a lot to breaking roots and actually ripping them apart. Here, it's almost impossible to overseed. You can actually go a little bit crazy. What's gonna happen here is the carrots are gonna grow down into the separate little bits, and it's almost impossible to overseed in comparison to the traditional. Then I'm gonna put my nice little layer of soil on top. Carrots don't need a lot. Do try to follow the seed packet instructions for how deep, much deeper you have to put it. Then another thing, another one of my little tweaks and twists for winter sowing that I found very helpful over the years is I prepare labels in advance. So these are this says Danvers half longs, and I put them into the handle for two reasons. It makes it so that you can see what it is from the inside, just in case everything washes out, but it also prevents seedlings from growing up in the handles. And those of you who've done this before have probably had that happen to you, where you've lost a couple seedlings up into the handle. That doesn't happen if you do this with this little tweak here. Okay. Now, last of all, my last tweak that I discovered last year. Last year was a good year for winter sowing. I learned a whole lot more. Is I stopped using duct tape. Right now, I've been doing winter sowing for I think it's 8 years now, and have used duct tape exclusively up until this time. But as I said earlier, duct tape is really hard to remove on the outside. So we were actually doing construction here in the greenhouse, and we were putting up siding with this sheathing tape, and it was like, this seems like it might be a better option. So you're looking for tuck tape, and the clear stuff works great as well. This is all that they had though right now at the hardware store was the blue stuff, but the clear works great. I love this tuck tape for many reasons. It's much easier to put on in the first place. Like, I don't have to fuss with it as much as I do with my duct tape. But when it really shines is when it comes time to take it off, because it just rips off in one go. It does, like, I know myself, my wrist can get sore if I'm doing a lot of these in a day, if I'm doing a lot of transplanting. But with the tuck tape, oh my goodness, it was a dream to remove them. It took me less than half the time it would normally take to remove my tape. Okay, but it held in place. It's designed for working in outdoor conditions, and it's wonderful. Okay, so give that a try. Also, another thing that I like to use is I used to use Sharpie. Don't use Sharpie. Please don't use Sharpie. You'll be very sad because it does tend to wash off, even if it says it's permanent. I was constantly, when I used Sharpie, I would go out and I'd relabel a couple of times before it completely faded off. I really, really like these ear tag markers that you get from the feed store for cattle ear tags. It's great. So I'm going to put Danver half long on these. Now here's the last tweak. And this is going to be the hardest one for you guys. And that's wait. I've been saying for about 5 years, wait until mid-February if you live in a Chinook zone. because our erratic temperatures and Snugs zones can cause germination to occur too quickly, and then you lose your seedlings later when it gets really, really cold again. So over the years, I've been putting them out at different times, and I always have assumed that it was just the Chinook zone. But now I'm also planting here in Golden where we don't have these Chinooks. And I've been putting things out earlier over the past couple of years. And I have found that if I wait till mid-February here as well, I get better results. I know that's hard. One of the reasons we love winter sowing is it lets us garden in the winter. And who doesn't like getting their hands dirty when it's freezing outside? But what my findings over the years, and when I look back on my notes, which I do a lot, I've seen that in these harsher conditions, the zone 3, the zone 2, the zone 4, if you wait a little bit longer, if you can bring yourself to do that, you're going to get better results. And I actually have found my best results are when I wait even longer. The first year that I did winter sowing, I didn't even hear about it until March, and everything worked. And I should have taken that as a clue to wait until March, period. But it did. Over the years, I've analyzed my data, because that's always a fun, nerdy thing for me to do. I see that where I get my best results is when I do wait. Even if there isn't Chinooks, waiting in harsher conditions is going to work. So you're going to have plenty of time. Last frost dates are so late that even if you don't get your hardy perennials started until mid-March, you're going to have enough time for that cold stratification to go on. Okay, so let's do a little recap here. These are the twists and tweaks on the traditional winter sowing method that I really think can change your game when it comes to making this work even better. So number 1, give those Snugs a try. I'll be doing lots of videos about Snugs, and please send more questions. I love talking about them. Number 2, tuck tape. It's not cheap, but my goodness, it makes your life a lot easier at transplanting time in particular. Number 3, stick those labels up into the handle. That's going to make it so you can read it from the outside even if this wears off, and it also stops your seedlings from growing up into your handle. And then number 4, the hard one, wait. Okay, I know you're saying to me, but Frankie, it's January, what are you doing? These are actually going to go into my greenhouse. I'm going to use this to put into one of the beds that I've just cleared out. I actually do use these as germination propagation chambers in the greenhouse. That's how much I love this. I've got this beautiful greenhouse, but I'm still using milk jugs in here. I hope that was helpful. Please don't hesitate to continue to ask me questions, because as you can see, they help me get these wonderful new results. I really do hope you'll give it a try. And as always, I hope you'll take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.